Hey, what's going on everybody? Today I wanted to talk about a plugin from Soundtoys called Decapitator, and I've had this for quite a long time, but I've never actually used it, which is a shame really, because it's an awesome saturator plugin and it basically emulates a lot of different analog classics and it gives you that classic analog sound. So in particular on this one, I'm using it on a vocal, but you can really use it on anything. And I think it sounds really good. So this is what it sounds like without it.
Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. So do you love me, darling? Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. So do you love me, darling?
And this is in context with the mix of the song.
Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. So do you love me, darling? Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. So do you love me, darling?
Okay, so we have the plugin pulled up, and these are the settings that I use to get that sound. And obviously I have some other plugins on here. This is a deductive EQ, compressor, Mani M, tone shaper, which is like a parallel compression type plugin, and then the Avalon, which is already giving it some analog sound, but this really pushes it over the top. I think it sounds really good, and I'm just going to run through what I did. Down here with the style, you have 5 different styles that are going to give you different analog type sounds, and they all sound really good, but you can just play around with them and land on whatever you think sounds best. So what I did is I used classic rock Vox, and this is a preset, and then I just tweaked the preset in terms of the drive, the output, and I do have the mix at 100% because I have it in the chain, but you can also use this as like a parallel track and give some character. If you're going to do like a parallel compression type thing, you can actually saturate it that way too, which I might go over in another video. If you want to learn about parallel compression, I do have a video on that, so check that out. But there's a lot of really cool options here, so I'm just going to run through a couple things I did.
Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. So do you love me, darling?
So when you drive it up, it's actually giving it some clarity too and some presence, which I think is really important to make a vocal stand out in the mix, especially with a song like this, which is pretty produced. And the really cool thing here is this tone knob. So you can really think of this tone knob too in terms of like an amp. A lot of amps, when you play guitar, are going to have a tone knob here, and you can boost certain frequencies, which is very cool. And it's also going to have a drive and an output and a master. So the master I adjusted accordingly, because when I did start to crank this drive up, it obviously got a hell of a lot louder. But this tone thing, let me mess with this and show you what this does. This really adds some clarity to the vocal.
Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. So do you love me, darling?
I think if you push that tone knob too much on lead vocals, it can make it sound a bit thin, but sometimes that's what you want. Or if you have backing vocals, it's really cool to have them be a little bit thinner than the lead vocals so they don't really compete in terms of those lower frequencies. So what I'm doing here too is I'm actually cutting a little bit of the lows, and that's giving us a little bit more of a shimmery type top end, and I'm not really cutting any of the highs here. So I think this sounds really good as it is, and I'm gonna play it for you guys one more time.
Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. So do you love me, darling? Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your love.
think that sounds really good. And just to mention this punish button here, this is really cool too. If you click this on, it's really going to just distort the hell out of it. Again, similar like an amp would do. So let me just see where I'm at. I will turn this on and I'm going to turn this vocal down and you'll hear what that sounds like.
Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you.
So yeah, that punish button will really just push it over the edge and make it sound super distorted, again, similar to an amp. And the last thing I'll do is just run through these different styles here down at the bottom.
Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving. Everything you say, everything you do, everything I say, it comes back to you. I've been dreaming about your loving.
So I'll say what I noticed. The A and the E tend to actually be a little bit more brighter, at least on lead vocals. I think they sound a lot brighter, and also the T as well. But the N and the P over here, they seem to be more of like a darker sound. And in all honesty, I'm probably going to change this to E because I think that's what sounded the best for this particular vocal. But yeah, there's a bunch of different styles here, a bunch of different analog type sounds, and you know, music is so important to have tubes and the circuitry from analog gears and transistors and all that sort of stuff. So I think this is an awesome plugin, and if you're in the market for a saturation plugin, this is definitely one that a lot of people use, to be honest with you. So I figured I'd do a quick video on it. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Peace.